Captain Nadal says, the fight continued for another 20 or 30 minutes with neither side making headway. It was getting dark and casualties mounted, and I decided we were not going to be able to break through. I called Colonel Moore and asked for permission to pull back. And here's what Colonel Moore says. With night approaching, there was no real choice. I did not want to get into the hours of darkness with my battalion fragmented, with the companies incapable of mutual support, and subject to defeat in detail. Word came over the radio, and so now this is Specialist Galen Bungham, who's out there with the Lost Platoon. Back to the book. Word came over the radio that we would have to hang on till morning. I could not believe what I heard. I thought there was no way we would be able to do that. Others thought the same thing. Clark kept asking me, do you think we'll make it? I didn't know. But I said we have to pray and pray hard. It was a big question mark in all of our minds. We had to keep our cool and bear down. And now we hear from Hal Morgan. I now considered the toll this day's fighting had taken. Tony Nadal's Alpha Company had lost 3 officers and 31 enlisted men killed or wounded. And now reported effective strength of 2 officers and 84 enlisted. John Herron's Bravo Company had lost 1 officer and 46 enlisted men killed or wounded, and was down to 4 officers and 68 enlisted men, with 1 platoon, Herrick's, trapped outside the perimeter. For almost 8 hours, I had been involved in the minute-to-minute direction of the battle. Now I wanted to personally walk the perimeter and check the preparations for what promised to be a tough night and another tough day tomorrow. Just before dark, Sergeant Major Plumley and I broke away from the command post and set out to check the perimeter, talking with the troopers and getting a feel for the situation on the ground. What concerned me the most was the morale of the men, how well the companies were tied in, their defensive fire plans, and the situation with ammunition and water supplies. Morale among the men was high, although there was understandable grief over the friends we had lost. The men I talked with realized that we were facing a fierce, determined enemy, but he failed to break through our lines. They knew the fight wasn't over. I heard weary soldiers saying things like, "We'll get him, sir, and they won't get through us, sir." Their fighting spirit had not dimmed, and they made me proud and humble. In every one of my companies that had landed in this place this morning, there were 15 to 20 soldiers who had less than 2 weeks left to go in the Army. Some of those men now lay dead, wrapped in ponchos near my command post. The rest of them were out on that perimeter, standing shoulder to shoulder with their buddies, ready to continue the fight.